Good morning, boys and girls in Year 5. Today we're going to do a modelled reading lesson, and we are learning to explain and analyse literal and implied information. And you'll see that I've underlined the words explain and analyse to remind us that that means that we are looking to find information and identify facts, and then by analysing we are explaining the connection between those. So the text we're going to read today is called Living Things in Their Habitat, Toads. So you'll be getting to know all about toads. So this is a non-fiction text, and let's start reading. Ecology is about nature and life. I haven't heard that word before, ecology. Let's see if we can find out what it means. It is about the relationships between living things and their environment. Okay, that makes sense. So living things in their environment. Someone who studies ecology is an ecologist. An ecologist studies living things and the way they relate to their surroundings. I'm going to put that information in our graphic organiser. So I've identified a fact from that first part of our text that ecologists is someone who studies living things. And because we're reading about toads, and I know that they would study things like toads, so I've put that in there too. Let's keep reading. This toad is part of an ecosystem. Another big word. All of these words seem to have that eco at the beginning, and I'm starting to think that that means environment. An ecosystem is like a habitat where an organism lives, but it includes many habitats plus the non-living systems that support them. Oh wow, that's a lot of information, but I'm starting to think that it is talking about that all of the habitats in the environment are linked, and that it includes all of the things that live there as well as some non-living things. In an ecosystem, each living thing depends on other living and non-living things for survival. So they really are linked. So in how things work, I've decided to put that ecosystem is many habitats together, because that explains to me that all those environments are linked and all of the animals and the non-living things are linked. So I've put that in our find section on the graphic organiser. Let's continue reading. Insects find shelter and food on trees and in moss. The toad finds those insects and eats them. So this is where we're learning a bit more about toads. The toad depends on rainfall to supply a place to lay eggs. So they've just really talked about how the toad is linked to some things in their environment, that they depend on those insects for food that live in the trees and the moss. As well, they need that rainfall because otherwise they wouldn't have a place to lay their eggs. Very interesting. One day, maybe a snake will eat the toad. These are the kinds of things ecologists like to think about. So it's a bit of a cycle. So everything is depending on other things. Let's put that in the graphic organiser. So to explain what I've been reading about, all those facts and information about how things work, I can put them all together, make some connections and make an explanation. What I found out was that toads are part of an ecosystem. Now remember, that was all those little habitats together. And they eat insects, and they depend on rain to lay eggs. So those are the links that the toad has with the environment and the other ecosystems of other animals and non-living things. That's great. Let's revisit our learning intention. So today we were learning to explain and analyse literal and implied information. And I think we did a great job. We were able to find facts and information about toads and ecosystems and how they fit into the big picture in our environment, and that they actually have a bit of a place in the environment and do a particular job and have a special importance. So I think we did a great job. Thank you, boys and girls. See you next time.